City is stunned by the sudden rollout of Rook Unlimited's most fantastic device ever. The Smart Mark. Throw your other devices away, because the Smart Mark is more than just a phone. It's part of you. Use it as cash. Book your travel. And even shoot video. Distribution points are all over the city. And don't let the lines discourage you. The Rook Unlimited Smart Mark is worth the wait.
I never realized how wonderful technology could make me feel. The Smart Mark has brought order to my life.
And the best part? It's absolutely free. A gift of thanks to our city from Rook Unlimited.
23% of the population has been given the Smart Mark, number 1.
Time to test our system, number 6. The Flex Fighters are out there somewhere. Teaming up with Jonathan Rook. Let's put our new recruits to work, subtly.
We should find the Flex Fighters.
I ought to find the Flex Fighters.
We should find the Flex Fighters. We should find the Flex Fighters.
Keep it 100 with you all, you know. Before I even begin, I just want to say that this is a real touchy subject. You know, I know that parents are real, you know, get real personal and real sensitive when talking about their parenting skills or whatever have you. But these are conversations that we need to have with one another, because, you know, we need to know right from wrong. There is a such thing as right from wrong when dealing with parenting skills. It is. I mean, you know, I'm not perfect by far. You know, but at the same time, we need to come to an understanding of just how parents need to parent their children. Especially in this pandemic, being that most of our children are at home, being homeschooled, or, you know, online. Now, it's not a very difficult situation with me, you know, with dealing with this pandemic and my children being home, and I have to prepare lunch and all the rest of that stuff, because, you know, I've been doing this for years. They've been homeschooled as well as they go to school online. We've been cooking lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day for them, and they've never attended a physical school. They've never been in one. And believe it or not, my children don't want to go to a public school because, excuse me, because they see on the news what happens. You know, kids coming in at high schools and elementary schools and with AR-15s shooting and killing one another. You know, kids selling drugs to other kids. It's peer pressure. There's so many things involved when dealing with public school. And I continue to tell people that you can't go in a public school and start dictating anything to anyone. For one, they're not going to want to hear it. And they're not going to want to hear it, and neither will they change it. And for two, it's a public school. It's called a public school for a reason. It's open to the public. So that means that every kid that has problems at home, he or she is going to bring that to school. And he or she is going to influence your child to do something bad or good. Don't get it twisted. So we need to sit down and ask ourselves, who is really educating our children? As you can see, that cartoon that I just showed you, they're getting our kids prepared for the radio frequency ID chip, also known as RFID chips. They have subliminal messages in these cartoons. And I know what some may say, that's my age. You know, they're programming these children and this and that and so forth. They programmed us too when we were younger. It's just that the type of programming that we had was very different from the type of programming that they're receiving. The type of programming that they're receiving is under a one world order system where you shall obey the hierarchies, the oligarchies. Our sense of programming was just built on morals and principles, what was right and what was wrong about life. So when I turned on Popeye, I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. When I turned him on and I watched that cartoon, I was taught that if you eat your spinach, you can be strong. Strong like Popeye. When I looked at G.I. Joe,
it's getting dark. Slow down. It's hard to see. Look out, a car.
You boys okay?
Dusty, we didn't see you.
And I couldn't see you. No wonder. You don't have reflectors. They tell drivers where you are.
I see what you mean.
Remember, if you have to ride when it's getting dark, have the right equipment.
And wear bright clothes. Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
I was taught certain things, such as riding a bike at dark and not having reflectors on your bike in order that cars can see you before they get to you, so that they won't hit you. Knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. I had conjunction junction, what's your function? Where they were talking about the Bill of Rights. They even talked about corporations that was taken off air. I have Bill Cosby. The Bill Cosby Show to teach me about family, being a family, how to be a family. I had a different world to teach me that, us as minorities, whether you're male or female, you can attend college. We had these programs that was molding us into outstanding citizens. We had after school, what were they called? After school shows. Johnny, you shouldn't do that. You know that that's not right, Johnny, to steal. I had Fat Albert.
Don't go telling a lie. Have you ever heard the story about the boy who cried wolf all the time? When everyone came running, well, the wolf just wasn't around.
And Fat Albert would teach me, no more telling a lie. When you tell a lie, such and such and such, they were molding us into outstanding citizens. Hell, my sister had Care Bears.
Cousin Cole! Care Bear, stare! We've got to put the meteorite in the bottomless pit.
You know, when you see a little kid that's down and he's sad and he's crying, the Care Bear that had a son on his stomach, he'll be like, we're gonna have to change Kenny's perspective. Give him a Care Bear stare. And the sun will come out and it'll hit Johnny, and Johnny be like, yay, I'm happy again. My sister had Rainbow Bright. And Rainbow Bright's enemy was the smoggy guy. He would come in and he would make everything gray. But then Rainbow Bright would come in and she'll have a rainbow and just throw it in sparkles and everything on everybody, and everybody jump up in joy and say, yay, we've done it. My sister had My Little Pony. This society now, this generation now, they don't have anything. how to be taught to be a robot. That's it. They are preparing your child as we speak right now to be an android. RFID chips will be, you'll be chipped. That's coming soon. And I'm more than sure that just like a dog, they're gonna tag you right after you get out of your mother's womb. There's no more, I have a mind of my own. Just listen to the rap. Listen to it. Everybody sounds the same. It's for a reason. You can't have a variety of music. You can't make these people think different. They have to all think the same. That's what the one world order's about. You seen all of these big restaurants closing and everything. I mean, y'all thought, well, excuse me, I take that back. I said y'all thought like as if, because most of y'all wasn't even born or alive. You know what I mean? Go back and look at Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes. And you'll see just where we're headed to. And they were chipped. But you'll see the society that we're headed to. And in that movie, Sylvester Stallone was like, oh, we going out to eat? He's like, they were like, yeah, we're going to Taco Bell. And he's like, what? Taco Bell is a fast food restaurant. What are y'all going there for? But it turned out to be a fancy restaurant. So all these restaurants are closing. You're only going to have a few options. All these banks are closing. You're only going to have a few options. They're only going to be 2 or 3 banks that you could bank with. You think that all of this stuff dealing with, I don't even want to say it because they're going to flag me. I've just found out that whenever you say the 19 thing, if you know what I'm saying, starts with a C, your video actually gets flagged. So this is no coincidence. And if they didn't create it fell in their laps and it's working in their favor. They said that the masks are not 100% proof. So everybody, just think about that. It was a test. We were lab rats. This is only the beginning. So now we got all these idiots to put on masks. Now we can issue in A, B, and C because they'll definitely fall for any and everything. Period. We're not gonna attack. We'll never attack the enemy. We'll just attack ourselves. And what I mean by that is dealing with racism. Racism is a tool used against us from the powers that be. Period. There's no such thing as a white person. You ever seen a real white person? You ever seen a real black person? You ever seen a real yellow person or yellow person? There's no such thing as that. Just think how childish and immature that sounds for you to call a race of human beings the color black. No, it's a thing called nationality that we should go by. So when a Jamaican says, yo, I'm not black, I'm Jamaican, he's really right. He's from Jamaica. And Jamaica has his own culture. That plain and simple. I don't know what an African American is. I don't want to understand that. Please, can somebody make me comprehend that? Well, it's easy. You work from Africa and you live in America. Yeah, but how can I be like half and half? That doesn't make sense. No, I would have to be African, an African that lives in America. But they don't want to take off the American part of it because they know that if they keep that African part and take off the American part, you're going to be interested in going back to your homeland, your motherland. You're going to be interested in the culture, the language, and all the rest of that. So they have to keep you here. Let me say this before I get off. If everybody that was black went back to Africa, let me tell you something. White people would have a pissy fit. Pissy fit. White people, not all white people. Let me take that back. Not all white people think like this. But there are a lot of white people that think like this. They really think that black people are lazy. And I know you've heard this before, so I'm just reiterating. They really think that black people are lazy. No, No, white people, you're lazy because we were slaves. We worked for free over 400 years. You just sat on a porch, sipping lemonade and eating Big Mama's fried chicken. How in the world can you say we were lazy and we were at your hands and foot? When have you ever did anything for us? When? I'll wait. You can't, this is not dedicated to all white people. You can't go inside a black neighborhood, right? And set up a rehabilitation center for those that's on crack and say that you did a good deed. No, you're the one who brought in the crack, so therefore you turn that person to a crackhead. It is your fault. So you definitely need to clean that up. What I'm saying is, when have you ever done anything good for us where you didn't clean anything up? You know what I'm saying? Like, just gave us $20,000 and said, hey, listen, man, that's on me. When have you ever done that? When have you ever looked out? That's all I want to know. And some people will sit back and say, well, you know, you got the entertainers, you got the rappers, they took them out of the hood and this. That's personal interest. That's personal gain. Most of the rappers that rap nowadays, they have a 360 deal. Most of the rappers that rap now don't even own their publishing. So when they stop rapping and they see their song on a movie, let's say Blade Part 3, they don't get no royalties from that. So cut the crap with the BS. Who's raising our kids? Because we sure as hell ain't. We're not. And if we are, we're doing a bad, poor job. Period. So I can tell you who's raising your kids. Watson. That's who's teaching your children. Watson. Sooner than later, technological singularity is going to happen. Let me say this. Let me set the record straight on this. I've been wanting to talk about certain things. I've never jumped off transhumanism and all the rest of that. It's just that y'all not ready. Period. Y'all pick at my name, Langston 2092, but don't even realize that there's a meaning behind it. I've been reading about these things for years, and I've been trying to tell you all since 2009. That's how long I've had. Well, excuse me. I've originally had this channel since 2013, but originally I had another channel prior to that, and I've been trying to tell y'all this since 2009. But nobody don't want to listen to that. Everybody wants to hear what's going on with Tekashi 6ix9ine, and this is the reason why your kids are in the situation that they're in, and you are as well. Go ahead, shave some of that arm hair you have, the hair that's on your arm, and get ready and prepared for them to inject that RFID chip into you. That plain and simple.